Well, hello, and welcome back to that thing we like to call Curlis Mania, where we talk all things pop, rock, and prog. And back. I'm back. I mean, it's been a little break for me. I'm back, and my guest is back on the channel. So happy to have him back, Mr. Logan Collins. Logan, how are you today?
Hey Tom, I'm very happy to be here, and I'm glad to do this with you. And I wanted to share a little story of why we kind of decided to do this. Because after our Thin Lizzy show, me and him were kind of brainstorming back and forth on ideas and topics to do, and I went to Curlis Mania YouTube channel, and I went back, way back, like way back, the beginnings, and I noticed Tom was doing like David Bowie little series. Went through Space Oddity and The Man Who Sold the World, and and I seen that was like a big gap, like 9 years ago, 10 years ago, and I just asked him, I'm like, hey, well, I seen the video with Bicycle Legs. You guys did Hunky Dory and Ziggy Stardust, and that was awesome.
Yeah,
So I wanted to ask you if you want to do the next two in the series in the line, kind of keep it going a little bit. So yeah, I'm
yeah.
just excited to be here and doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it was great. Logan, he noticed that. And he was like, "Hey, man, I noticed you started this Bowie thing and you never really finished it. You just kind of stopped." And it was like nine
Yeah.
years ago. And I was like, "You're absolutely right. That is very true. I've been meaning to keep pick up on that again." And so this is like a huge, like, I'm so glad we're doing this because it's a big deal. Like if you, like you said, go way back on the channel and you'll see them. You'll see the first time, the first couple videos I did for the channel.
Yep.
So because I intended to go through all of the 70s Bowie albums, and I never, I just stopped. I never did. So so here we go. I'm continuing. I'm what is it? I'm making good on my promise. Then we're continuing. And so where we dropped off, or where I dropped off, I think it was I don't know if I did I do Ziggy Stardust? I can't remember
Well,
if I
you just did it with Bicycle Legs. I don't know if you did it by yourself
I don't
or
think I've done it on this channel yet, but anyway, Ziggy
no.
Stardust will happen as well. But I'm happy to be doing what we're doing, which is like we're still in the classic era here, and that is Aladdin Sane. Thank you, Aladdin Sane. Let me grab my here's my vinyl copy.
Awesome, man. Yeah.
Of course, I've got vinyl and CD for all of David Bowie. I just he's
I
one of
need to
those
get
guys.
vinyl of these. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of those I've got both, you know. And then so we're doing Aladdin Sane in 1973 versus Diamond Dogs 1974.
Oh
So,
yeah.
so this is going to be quite the battle, man. This is like absolute classic Bowie at his probably at his height of popularity. I would say maybe it's
Definitely his
possible.
height as a rock star and as the glam kind of period. And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So really, I mean, at this point, I think Aladdin Sane was really the first album he put out as a rock star. Like that was
Oh yeah.
he was big by that point. And people were like anticipating the next album. So I'm gonna do a quick rundown of Aladdin Sane real fast, and then I'll hand it over to Logan to take it away. But basically, Aladdin Sane is his sixth studio record. It was released April 19th, 1973. It was recorded in December 1972 to January 73 at Trident in London, which I visited, by the way, when I went to London not too long ago last year. I saw Trident Studios. I was like, yes, it was so cool. And they have it's so funny because it's easy to miss. Like you just watch just it's like a random building that doesn't have a lot. It's not like something you'd be like, oh my God, is and so the only reason you know is because someone pointed it out to me, and there's actually a plaque on the building that says, and I took a picture of it, that says David Bowie recorded a lot of his classic work here. Um,
Wow.
and I'm like, what about Queen? Queen did too, and so did a bunch of other
Yeah.
bands.
Yep.
Uh, yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's interesting that they mentioned Bowie, like David Bowie. I think they said David Bowie recorded Ziggy Stardust here.
There's
Uh,
a isn't there like a famous like piano in there that like played on a bunch of different songs, I think. I think it's the Trident Studios like piano or something. I
yeah,
could be wrong. It's something
probably.
like that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Because it probably played on Changes and
Yeah,
some of the other hits from other bands and stuff.
Life on Mars and Bohemian
Yeah.
Rhapsody and all. Yeah, exactly. Um, so yeah, so Trident in London and RCA in New York. The label was RCA, and the producer was Ken Scott and David Bowie. Yeah, check it out. He was definitely in his glam phase. Um, so yeah, Ken Scott and David Bowie, and Ken Scott recorded several records with Bowie, and this was one of the last ones he did. Actually, I think it is the
Yep.
last one. Uh,
Pinups will be.
Pinups was the last one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So so anyway, yeah, check it out. So cool. Um,
Yeah, all kinds of great pictures.
yeah, so the singles were Gene Genie, Drive In Saturday, Time, and Let's Spend the Night Together. So I'm shocked that the cover, the Stones cover, was a single, but it was. Um,
Yeah.
so so there you go. That's kind of a quick rundown of Aladdin Sane from 1973, and Logan showing you some of the photos from that time period, and
Yeah.
come with
Can
the
I start
CD.
with this iconic cover? I mean, this is when people think of David Bowie, man, this is probably the picture people think of. I
Oh,
mean,
for sure. Isn't that great? It's so true. It's like there's a
yep. Yep.
billion T-shirts with that on it, you
Yeah,
know?
Brian Duffy shot that, and I wrote down it's the most expensive album art to make up to that point
Oh,
because Tony, what's his name, DeFries, DeFries,
I think it's
the
DeFreeze, I think, yeah.
yeah, the manager guy. He said he wanted to make it like as expensive as possible.
Oh, really?
Yep, yep,
It's funny because you look at some of the other like outtakes, there's outtakes of that photo
yes,
session,
yep,
and it's
yep,
like that this photo is like definitely the one. Like you see when he's opening his eyes and turning his head and stuff, it just doesn't look the same when he's looking down and he's closing his eyes. It's awesome.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
Oh,
So
it's the only time he'd wear the lightning bolt too, the makeup.
that's
It's the only
true.
time he ever did it.
He never did again. That was it. Like he never
That's
did.
crazy to think that. Wouldn't you think after all the outfits he wore on stage and everything, you think he would have put it back on one time, but
I was
he never
thinking that
did.
too because I read that they said that was it. They was he did it once and one and done, and that was it. He never put it on again. That was like
Yeah.
it's so iconic. It's like the iconic image of him. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome.
So man, I love Aladdin Sane. I'm just gonna come out
Oh
right
yeah.
now and say I just friggin' love this record. So what's your take? I mean, it starts out with Watch That Man, which is like, oh my God, are you kidding
Which
me?
is I think it's total he said he was inspired by like the New York Dolls, and I hear a lot of Rolling Stones in it too.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
kind of got great interplay between the guitar, bass, and I love the. Well, we're gonna talk about Mike Garson quite a bit,
Oh
um,
yeah. Oh yeah.
because this is just like standard boogie woogie kind of piano on this song, but like we'll get into what other things he can do
Oh
in a
yeah.
little bit.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, I just love the great bluesy Stones feel of this track. It's got the style and the feel of that. And I love the little breakdown on the track, like halfway through on the back half. And Mick Ronson kind of, I don't know what you think, Tom. He kind of sounds like Keith Richards a little bit. He does like those Keith Richards kind of leads, like in this song, kind of like 50s rock and roll style leads and stuff. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I just think
Yeah.
it's a killer way to start the album. I mean,
Oh, it's amazing. And I think
yep,
Ronson's just on his A game on that song. Like you said, there's just something about the way he plays, and he's just
yeah,
and like you said, I really do think it was very Stones influenced. That
for sure. Yeah,
apparently this whole record was kind of they were sort of like they were on a Stones, they're very very into the Stones at this time and kind of
yeah. You can tell
wanting to
it
have that
shows through.
swagger or whatever. Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
you know.
But yeah. Yep.
But then Aladdin Sane is like a total like left turn. So you know.
Yeah, yeah, you think it's gonna be a straight ahead hard rock album or something, and this piano, I don't know, experimental kind of track happens, and um, I wrote down Bowie wrote this song inspired by a novel called Vile Bodies. I think he was on a boat a lot during the traveling for this, and I think he wrote a lot of the lyrics on this boat for this song specifically. Because I don't know if you have the UK press of the vinyl, Tom. It says like each song, like what place kind of inspired what song. Because like
Oh yes, yes,
yeah, like Panic in Detroit's obviously Detroit, and Gene Genie's like New York, and
yes,
uh yeah,
yes.
yep.
Let me see
So
if I can find that. I think I saw that at one point. Yeah.
yeah, I wrote the name of the boat down if I can find it here. It was the RHMS Elenus, which
Oh,
was Bowie said that inspired the Aladdin Sane song, which is kind of crazy.
oh,
But
interesting. Okay.
yeah, so about the song, um right off the gate, this track has like a eerie keyboard work just from the start. from Mike Garson. Really gives this track just great atmosphere. And Bowie delivers like an equally kind of eerie vocal. Um, and I really, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I really love Mike Garson's piano solo in the song. I mean, it is so out there, so different.
It's
It's
crazy.
like, yeah, I mean, and there's video on YouTube. You can listen to the isolated track of it, and it's just as nuts. I mean,
Oh, I need to
it's
do that. I haven't done that. I gotta check that
yeah.
out.
I'll try and send that to you if I remember after.
Yeah.
But I wrote down my notes here. It sound like something almost out of a Halloween like movie, like a horror movie soundtrack, kind of.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
and I like how we get out of the solo and Garson starts to play that because they're vamping on A and G during that section when they're
Right.
doing the chorus. He
Yeah.
starts playing with that, and then they go back into the chorus one more time. And then it goes into another crazy solo part, and I'm guessing Bowie does the saxophone mainly on this. I
I
think
think
he does,
so. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And it just adds to the craziness of the track,
Right.
And then Garson just ends the song just kind of little melodically, and it's just an awesome track, man. Yeah, I love Aladdin Sane.
Oh yeah, I thought he read, or I thought I read somewhere that he said like his first run through he kind of was like he was kind of new to the band and he was like kind of just and
Yeah,
he did like a little bluesy thing and
yeah,
he was like
yeah, yeah,
no I don't that's not what I want, like he was
yeah,
very adamant like no, and then he said something like well what do you want, and he was like well don't you do a bunch of like avant-garde jazz stuff, and he's like yeah, and he's like play that. So yeah, so I guess that was his
yep,
first run through. He just wing it. He just like on piano just went crazy and
yeah. I think it was one take. Yeah,
yeah,
it's nuts, man.
great, crazy. What a track, crazy track.
Oh, love it.
Yeah. Then
So,
Driving Saturday.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think this one was a single, I believe. Yeah, the song was released as a single and became a big hit in UK, hitting number three. Um, and Bowie mentions like some celebrity figures in the track, Mick Jagger and Twiggy, who was a model back then, and she would show up on pinups. Obviously, when we get there, we'll talk about that. Um, I think musically, the song has like a lower, softer verses, and it's got like a doo wop kind of thing going on. Um, which again is a total another left turn after the last left turn from the other song.
Right. Right.
Um, yep,
Exactly.
yep. Um, love the last minute or so, kind of Bowie improvising over the chorus line. And
Mhm.
I didn't know anything about what the song was about until I like, started diving into it a little bit more. Apparently, it's about like a post nuclear world where like radiation affected people's brains and they don't remember how to reproduce. It's
Yeah.
like that's crazy, man.
And
I read, I think he was on a train or something, and he like went by this government facility, and it was like dome shaped.
mhm.
So he was thinking like in the future, how would what if we lived in that dome and that was all we knew? And it's just kind of
Yeah.
crazy. I
Yeah.
never knew it was that deep. I mean, I just thought it was about going to the drive-in or
No,
something.
same here. I was the same exact thing. I doing research for this, I discovered that as well. And I was like,
Yeah.
wow, okay, that's a way deeper than I thought the song was. And
Yep.
apparently they have to watch adult films to like remember how to have sex, basically.
Yep.
So
Yep.
like that's what I'm like, oh my God, this is like a deep like premise for
Yeah.
this, like doo-wop
I said the
50s
same
song.
thing. I said the same thing, and then I'm like, well, it's David Bowie, so.
Yeah. You gotta remember who we're dealing with. It's Bowie. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Great
Exactly.
track though.
Great, good,
Yep.
good song though. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. We'll go to Panic in Detroit next.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I said it was a song inspired by Iggy Pop. Bowie was hanging around with Iggy Pop quite a bit around this time period. And it's like his stories of the Detroit riots of 1967. He was like telling him stuff, and Bowie kind of got uh, the spark to write a song about that. Um, and the song features plenty of lyrics dealing with war, drugs and urban decay. Um, and musically, the song's structured in that Bo Diddley style beat that everybody knows.
Mhm.
Um, really love the descending guitar and saxophone lines that plays after each chorus. Um, and I love the bridge section when Bowie's talking like he's a student and he sees his teacher freaking out and smashing like traffic lights and stuff. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
And Mick Ronson, man, he brings it on this track. I love what he does on this song. Um,
Oh,
I
yeah.
wish it was a little higher up because you can't really hear him too good, but like he does like pick scrapes and everything towards the end and just like mimicking like a riot going on and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said very noisy and loud before, it goes right into that fade. Yeah, it's just an awesome track.
Oh yeah, the end of this song is the best. Yeah, when
Yeah,
he
because it keeps doing them like pick scrapes and
yeah, and because
oh man.
Bowie does that, oh, and then all of a sudden he's just like runs and kind of takes over. It's just like, oh yeah,
Oh
it's so killer.
yeah, these two songs were getting well. We talked about Panic in Detroit, and the next one, Cracked Actor. I'd say these two are some of Bowie's heaviest songs. I mean,
Rockin' songs. Oh yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
I mean, this is far, far cry from like stuff on Hunky Dory or even some of Ziggy Stardust isn't as rocking as this to me.
No,
Um,
no, I
that's
agree.
why I always, when I talk about Ziggy Stardust, right, I
Hmm.
kind of look, I kind of look at this like it's the uh darker younger cousin or something
Right,
of this album because there's a
totally.
lot of dark stuff on this compared to,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
this is brilliant too, but in a different way.
No, I'm with you. It's almost like, what did they say? Ziggy. It's like Ziggy went to America. That's kind of
Yeah, yeah, Ziggy Goes to America, that's what he calls it,
he always just described this a record that way, that it's almost like Ziggy
it
under the influence of America or something.
yeah, and I think he was trying to hit the middle America because it seemed like he was doing good on the East Coast and the West Coast, but he couldn't like break through to the middle America people. And I
Yeah.
think that's why certain songs, Gene Genie, when we get there, that's got more of a blues thing, kind of U.S. vibe to it.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, I think that's got something to do with it. But I'll get into Cracked Actor.
All right, go for it.
It's a song sung in the character like of an aging film star. Kind of talks about prostitutes, and we'll get more of that on Diamond Dogs. But
More of that coming. Yeah.
uh, a song's quite ahead of its time, I think. Kind of describing Hollywood and all the shady stuff that goes down. I mean, if he's singing about it like this in 1973, think about it now.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Right.
crazy.
Right.
Um, yeah, musically, this is definitely one of Bowie's heavier tracks. Like I said, it's got that great. I love the way this song starts. That E chord and that
Yes.
harmonica
Yes.
wailing, man. Oh,
Yep. Yes.
yeah, I love what Trevor Bolder does on this track. The bass parts, it's very underrated. He's a very underrated bass player.
He's a great bass
Um,
player. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, this stuff and Uriah Heep and yeah, he's
Yeah.
great, man. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, much like Panic in Detroit, before it, this track just dives straight into hard rock hell in the last minute. That's what I wrote down. With all the instruments sounding venomous and yeah, a great Ronson solo too that fades out. And I love when they do this live because they like copy Bowie does like a harmonica line and then Ronson will play it and it's just
Yeah. Yeah.
awesome, man.
Just a
Yep.
heavy track, like a heavy
And
rock and roll track.
that does end side one, right? I mean, that's just a
Yeah,
killer.
that's side
Oh,
one. Side one is
that's a
just like flawless.
yep.
Uh, yeah, and I love the crack, baby, crack. I mean,
Oh
it
god.
remind to me it's funny because people talk about the Stones. That one kind of reminds me of T-Rex a little bit.
Yeah,
You
yeah. There's
know,
definitely a T-Rex. Yeah,
almost like a
yeah.
heavy T-Rex track or something. That's
For
what it
sure. Yeah.
kind of reminds me of that a little bit. Um,
Awesome.
but yeah, really cool. And then like I didn't realize that's another one that I didn't realize the subtext of that song, which is like you said, I think was it he thinks she's a prostitute and she thinks he's a drug dealer or something. It's like
I
there's
think it's something like that. Yeah, it's
so
weird.
she wants drugs and he wants sex. It's yeah, it's anyway.
Yeah,
But
only Bowie man could do stuff like
again Bowie.
that.
Yeah. So side two though, that's an amazing side one, but then side two kicks off with Time, which is like, oh man, Time is like I love this track. So it's only
Yep.
Bowie could do a track like this.
Yeah, and I see it
Oh,
as a kind of a continuation of Rock and Roll Suicide from Ziggy because it's
yeah,
kind
that's
of got the same
interesting.
kind of feelings of
Yeah.
like morality and talking about well, let's see what I wrote down. Song was written for Bowie's friend. I wrote down George Underwood, which but I guess it was rewritten after the New York Dolls' drummer Billy Murcia died.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
yeah. And the first version was actually called I wrote it down. What is he saying that he keeps repeating that?
It
Oh,
should
we should
be
be home by
on
now.
by now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it was originally called. So I think it had a little bit of a different meaning before he passed. Um I wrote down some lyrics, man. I love that little section before the solo or whatever you want to call it. It's like you are not the victim, you just scream of boredom.
Yes.
You're not evicting time. and he does that heavy breathing, and then that wah comes in or whatever.
Yes.
Whatever's making that noise. Do you know what that is? I think it's a wah. I don't know what in the
Yeah,
world
he's
that
doing
is.
the wah. Yeah, he's like, I think he's doing a wah with like really heavy like
That,
like just
that's
gouging the
nuts,
string.
man. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Ronson doesn't get a lot of credit, man. He really doesn't.
Oh God,
Um,
he was amazing. He was so good. Oh my God,
yeah.
so good.
I wrote down about Garson's piano on this one. It's kind of like cabaret style. When this
Yes,
song first comes on, I always think it's like an old timey kind of western kind of deal because it kind of sounds like that a
it
little bit.
does. It sounds like
And then it,
like a saloon, like somebody playing in a
yeah,
saloon or something. Yeah,
yeah, and then it turns into something completely different. It's just crazy.
yeah.
Um, I love the improvised la 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 la. I love that part.
Oh,
Um,
that's the part that reminds me of Ziggy Stardust. Like, it almost feels like
yeah,
this song
yeah.
could have been on Ziggy Stardust.
Oh
Almost,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. And I love how it's just him at the start around the first couple verses or choruses that he does it, and then
Yeah.
towards the end it's like this big like choir crescendo of people
It's like
doing
everybody, la
it.
la la. Yeah, totally, totally.
Yep. Yeah. I wrote down. I ended with sadly though. I feel this song is very underlooked in his long career. I feel
Yes, it
like
is.
kind of after this period, I don't know if he really touched it too much. I didn't look into that, but yeah, he definitely should have played it all the way throughout, I think, because it's
Totally.
a awesome song.
Great
But
song.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep. Yeah. So we got
Yeah.
the Pretty Star next, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's an old
Um,
song. It's an older one, right?
yes, yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't know that until we did this.
Yeah.
Written and released as a single in 1970,
Yep.
and Bowie wrote it for his first wife, Angela Barnett. Which can you tell me, Tom? Is that the girl that Angie's about too, from the Stones?
Apparently it's not. I've
Really?
I've read that there's a lot of rumors that Angie's about that, but it's not. Like
Wow. Okay.
Keith Richards denied it. He said it was more about his wife or his child or something.
See,
Uh,
I always thought it was just about her because I've always heard that. I was
yeah, I
wondering.
don't know. I think there might be some truth to that. Who knows? I don't know. But
Yeah, it's hard. It's
put
hard
it this way:
telling the truth. Yeah.
The Stones denied it. Let's put it that way.
All right. Yep. Yep. But yeah, Mark Bolan play. Actually, we mentioned T Rex earlier. He plays on the first version of the song. And the high guitar melody is kind of the same on that. It's a little bit slower tempo. Um, kind of. I wrote down it's very similar to Driving Saturday. Saturday. It's got like a doo wop feel with some
Right,
upbeat saxophone from Bowie. I love the chorus section. Uh, bunch of overdubbed Bowie vocals on that. Got it has a lot of different style chords too. I checked this one out. It's like E flat and B flat minor and a lot of kind of jazzier kind of chords for a rock song.
right. It's kind of deceiving. It
Uh,
doesn't sound like that, but you're right. It's
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's very. I said very interesting, almost jazz like structure. Um, and I've seen online when I was going through this. It seems to be a little argument on if it fits in the album for some fans. And I've seen some like Bowie biographer people were talking about this too. But I think it works because kind of deals with like falling in love with like a screen star, and that kind of goes back to cracked actor in a funny way, I guess. But
Right, right. Yep,
yeah.
yep.
Oh, and I wrote down. I think this one, like if it was acoustic styled or something, it would have fit on Hunky Dory, I believe.
Yeah,
So yeah,
agreed. Agree. Oh, it
yep.
definitely feels like a hunky dory song for sure. Yeah,
Oh
agreed.
yeah, yep. Now we get to the Stones cover next.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
great rocking cover of Rolling Stones' 1967 hit single, which was on Between the Buttons here in the States, I believe. Um, this one's different in arrangement. It's more amped up and energetic than the original. A lot of synth effects too in this song that Bowie plays. It
Mhm.
kind of gives me like a Roxy Music kind of feeling, like the first album or two.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
like something Eno would do. Um, yeah. And I said, of course, the big difference from this one to the Stones is Bowie had some lyrics to the end, and the "Let's Make Love" part, and Ronson like plays the.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
I think it's a great cover. I know a lot of people kind of, I don't know, they kind of give it a little bit of shit, but I don't know. I think it's okay. I mean, I think
Yeah.
it works. I mean, Bowie
Yeah.
does the Stones. How could it
Yeah.
be bad?
He kind of amps it up, and I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say it's like the most amazing cover ever, but
No, no.
I think it works, you
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
I like it.
Great
I like
song.
that he speeds it up. You know, the whole like that's the
Yeah,
night.
if he kept it the same
Together.
tempo, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So
He even changes some of the words, I think.
yes,
Switches
he
them
does.
around and
He
you know,
does. Yeah. So
cool.
yeah. So then we're on to the first single, which is Gene Genie, which is that this is the
Which isn't that
first
is
song that I heard
isn't
on this.
isn't
What?
that crazy? That's the first single and it's
Yeah.
the ninth song on the
Yeah, it is
kind of
kind of
crazy.
crazy. And
You know,
it's the first song that I ever heard on this album because it was on Changes One. That was the first thing that I ever boned
I
from
got
the.
it behind me if you can see it, Tom.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
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 Yep.
So
I
that
was
was
gonna say the exact same thing. That's how I got into it.
that's how
Yep.
I heard it. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. So there you go.
Same
Yeah.
thing with Diamond Dogs because that's on there too. That's the first time I ever heard that.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
But yeah, biggest hit and one of the songs that made me a Bowie fan is what I wrote down.
Yep.
Main riff of the song plays on the Yardbirds version of "I'm a Man," which is like a play on Muddy Waters' "Mannish Boy." That there,
Yes.
there, there,
Yeah.
there, there,
Yep. Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
There, there, there,
But
there. It's the same riff. Yeah. Yep.
yep. And I want to mention too, we just did a show on our channel about Sweet and all their singles and things. Sweet has a song called Blockbuster, which
Mhm.
came out a couple months after this song, and it sounds just like it with the riff. So it's kind of funny. I mean,
This
it's a
riff's
good tune too, but you know.
this riff's been recycled a few times.
Yep. Bowie, I said, was quoted as calling it his first New York song, which is vague in description, but I think it works. Is you really get a New York feel from his, next couple album releases, obviously, and
Mhm.
I think here it really starts with a song like this.
Yeah.
Um, I said musically a blues style tune that was also influenced by Iggy Pop. Um, and American model Serinda Fox is what I wrote down. I think she worked for Andy Warhol, kind of. I think that's how the story is. Bowie like wrote this because she was bored or something like they were
Okay.
together,
All
and he was
right.
like, he just kind of off the cuff made this song.
All right.
Um, I wrote down some chart action too. Peaked at number 2 on the UK singles charts, and got to 71 here in the States. So, I mean, he's making leeway here. I'm sure this is probably one of his. Well, I don't know how good Ziggy did really in the States. I always feel like this album is the one that kind of broke him in America.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think so. I think so.
yep,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a
And
great track.
yeah, there's just something about Gene Genie. I don't know, like it's not really anything like that. Like it's like you were saying, it's kind of a recycled blues riff, and it's not really. I don't know what it, but I love the track. Like I don't know why I love it. I think it's just the melody of the that it just has so much attitude and swagger and every time I hear
Yeah,
it, I just love it. Like I love the way the vocals are delivered, and I don't know. It's just I
yeah,
love the track. It's just great.
great song. Yeah,
Yep.
yep. And then we get to the last song on the album, "Lady Grinning Soul," which is another heavily inspired Mike Garson piece. What I wrote down.
Yeah.
Closing track on the album was actually a last minute addition to. I guess it subbed in for a saxophone version of "John, I'm Only Dancing," which was a single earlier.
Oh,
I
that's
guess he was gonna put
interesting.
that. Yeah, I guess he was gonna put that on here. But I said the song's been compared to a James Bond theme, which I could see this being in a James Bond movie, especially the way that piano is and everything.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, yeah,
very
totally. That's a
atmospheric.
good call. That's a good call. I never think of that.
Oh yeah, it's very very atmospheric. Features I think it's some of Bowie's best vocals probably on the album. Um, some cool guitar lines that mimic his high vocals toward the end. Yeah, and it was influenced by Bowie meeting American soul singer Claudia Linier.
Okay.
Say your last name, but yeah, I think it makes for a fine ending to a great album. So yeah,
Oh, yeah.
just great.
I mean,
Yeah.
unbelievable. It's just such a strong record. And I mean, imagine. So here's a question for you, Logan. If you had to, let's say John, because John, I'm Only Dancing is another great track, and that's apparently an outtake for this record. If that was on this record and you had to take one song out, would you do Prettiest Star? What would you do?
Uh,
Would you take the
you
cover
know,
out? What would
I
you do?
honestly might take the cover out. I mean, I might
Yeah.
just to make it all originals and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would be just as strong or stronger with that song substituted.
Yeah, can
That's
I
just my
can I just
opinion.
can I just make it an 11-track album, Tom?
Yeah, that's true. You could just add it. You just add it. That's true. But I just no, it's really a pretty freaking amazing record as it is. So let's not do what ifs. Let's just it's a great
Yep,
album. I love it. I love it.
yep. It's
Yep.
awesome, man.
Yep. Really, I mean, it's just a very strong. It's a very strong. It feels like, they always say like Ziggy Part Two, but it's kind of got its own thing. Like you said, it's kind of a
Well,
different. It's a
it
different.
wasn't it kind of like a different persona he kind of played on stage a little bit too, like
Yes.
certain times, because like this tour and Ziggy were kind of at the same time, so it's kind of hard to find. It just seems like he was wearing kind of different stuff for this, um, like that
Yeah.
suit, and he's got like that skull thing in front of him or whatever.
He,
He's
he
holding it
still
like
had the. He's
Shakespeare does.
Yeah. He still had the same hairdo, but the clothes were different. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So always that's why I always said this is like Ziggy's darker, younger brother kind of.
Yes, yes. I think a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's very accurate. I think I like that a lot. So yeah. So
Yeah.
he does this in 1973, and then we're kind of we're purposefully skipping over a record, which was kind of a stopgap album. That art
Yeah.
because at this point, as we mentioned earlier, Bowie is a huge star. He puts out this record, and it makes him even bigger. And so he is just riding on a wave at this point, and RCA is like, we need more product. And because I think at this point they're like thinking, if we put anything, we just put his picture on it, it's gonna sell. Like just get us something. And
Yep.
so yeah, he puts out a covers record called Pinups.
Yep.
I don't own the vinyl on this one. I just have this, and it's got this massive sticker on it. I can't
Might
get.
be hard to find. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. So um so
Sure.
what's your general take? I mean, we're not going to do a whole thing on pinups, but what's your general take on it? What's your feeling about pinups?
Um, I actually quite enjoy it, really, and I really didn't before we were gonna do this show. I mean, I've heard certain parts of it and stuff, but I don't think I've ever listened to the whole thing before until we did this. And
Right.
yeah, Bowie showing off his saxophone.
Yeah. It's really
But
quite good for an album that was made really fast,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
because this is like what, not even 6 months past Aladdin Sane.
It's
Because
right, right.
this one, did you say Aladdin Sane was April, right? I think.
April of 73, yeah.
Yeah, and this one's October of '73. So it's
That's
like,
cra that's crazy. That's
and
crazy.
the thing I would keep talking to Tom about a lot when we go back and forth about this is that show he did on July 3rd, which was like a big deal. He remarked this would be the last show we'll ever do as a band, the Spiders from Mars band.
Hmm.
And I think Mick Ronson was the only guy who knew that. Boulder and Mick Woodmansey, he didn't know. Neither of them guys knew.
Yeah,
So
they were like looking at each other. What did he just say? Like,
yeah, and I think Mick doesn't play on this because Ainsley Dunbar actually plays the drums, so he was
right.
already gone by then because there was a management issue with money and he wasn't getting paid enough. But
Oh, you mean
Ronson had,
Woody? You mean Woody Woodmansey? Yeah, 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 yeah.
oh yeah, Woody, yeah, yep,
Woody,
yep,
yeah,
yep. But or Mick and Trevor really kind of sound angry on this album to me.
yeah,
Kind of
yeah,
elevates it a little bit to me, like Rosalind and I Wish You Would, and a lot of these blues rock songs are like really heavy. And
yeah,
obviously, Sorrow was the only single, and that got to number 3 in the UK, so did pretty good. And I really enjoyed it as a covers album. There's a lot of the only one that's kind of obvious, I'd say, is Here Comes the Night, because I mean, who hasn't probably that's probably a big kind of covered song, especially for the day. Um, yeah, I love his
yeah.
version of "See Emily Play" and the Who songs, and yeah, it's
It,
great.
yeah, it just shows how good these guys were that they could just kind of do this album so quickly. I mean, just work up this record so fast and put it out. Pretty
Yeah,
amazing.
this was a good excuse to get that because like I've always seen it in the catalog, and I'm like, do I really need it? I mean, it's a covers album.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I'm
But
glad I did
it
now.
always ranks low on people's lists just because it's a covers record, and like people are
Yeah.
like, everyone's like, and I think one of the criticisms of this album was like they didn't really reinvent much. They just kind of played the songs, but still,
Well,
they're
yeah.
still a happening band. They still sound really good.
I mean, even like "See Emily Play" is really different, I think, from like the Floyd version. Like
Oh
it's
yeah, no, I think CLME plays a great version actually. I think
that might be my favorite one. I
that's
do
my
love that.
favorite song on here. I think,
Yeah,
yeah, I
and
like
it's
it.
got like all them violins and stuff at the end. And it's like, where'd that come
You
from?
can tell that he loves the track. You can tell because he always said that Bowie always said his favorite Floyd was the first album.
Sid Floyd, yeah. That's
Was
what he
Sid,
even
yeah, he always
he
just say
credits it on the back of the
yeah, Sid's Pink Floyd. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
That's what it says on there. Yep.
Yep. So there you go.
Cool. Yeah.
So that's pinups. We're not going to spend too much more time on that. We're gonna run right into the next album, the next, which I would call like, because the reason we're doing this is because it feels like artistically he went from Aladdin Sane to Diamond Dogs.
Yep.
So we're kind of doing an artistic arc here. So Diamond Dogs was recorded. It's his eighth studio album. It was released on May 24th, 1974. So he had just done pinups in what, October of 70. He was just
Yep.
rolling. October of
Well,
73,
and I
right?
think around this time, on the UK charts, he had like four albums out of like
Yes.
the last couple. They were all like in the
They're
charts
all
at
on
the
the
same time.
charts. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So he was just
Crazy.
rolling. He didn't stop. So anyway, so May
No.
24th, 74, recorded January and February of 74 at Trident again in London, Olympic in London. Then there's a studio in the Netherlands called Ludolf. This one was the first one without Ken Scott. This, as I said earlier. So this was
Yep.
produced by David Bowie and Keith Harwood Engineering, who worked with the Stones on It's Only Rock and Roll. And then Tony Visconti came in, I think, kind of late in the game and
Yep.
helped him mix it.
Yep.
Yeah. So the singles were Rebel Rebel, Diamond Dogs in 1984. So three singles from
Cool.
it. Yeah. So
Yep. And just want to say about this artwork, if people were mad about the androgynous look or whatever before that, think about seeing this. They're probably like, "What the
yeah,
heck?"
yeah, yeah.
Which me and you talked about before we went live. It's a Belgian guy named Guy Art. I don't want to hurt his name, but yeah, I love that. I love that picture.
Yeah,
That
that's a
would have
cool
even been a
that's
better. That would
that,
have even been a better cover to
I
me.
yeah, I sometimes think that. I'm like, that would have been a cool cover. Yeah.
Behind me as well. I think some other guy kind of took it and made it a little more darker. And but yeah, Bowie found this guy, the artist, to do it after his seeing his work on the Rot Dreams catalog, which I guess had like a lot of exotic pictures and paintings and things. And like Tom just mentioned about It's Only Rock and Roll, he also did the artwork for that, which I never knew that until today actually, and it kind of makes sense when you're looking at it. I mean, it definitely looks like that. Yeah, it's
Cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess the best way to do this is to talk about what he originally wanted to do with it. And
Yes. Yes. Yep.
because there's really this album is really three albums in one in a way. Um,
Yeah.
because he wanted to make a Ziggy musical was the first thing because he talks about that to the press when pinups came out, and that kind of fell through for some reason. I'm not entirely sure. And then he wanted to do an adaptation on George Orwell's 1984 novel, which was denied from Orwell's widow because she wouldn't allow it until after she passed away for anybody to mess with her husband's work. And Bowie was all mad about that. And then there's this whole Hunger City thing, which really is the one that came to fruition mainly on this album because it takes up about a whole side, I'd say, of the album. But yeah, there it is.
Is that Hunger City?
I guess I would think.
Yeah. Looks like it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so there's those three little sections, and I guess it starts off with the spoken word future legend, which kind of sets the template for the album, I think. And Bowie's inspiration of writer William S. Burroughs shows on this track, I think. There's actually a picture. I haven't even showed the book off, Tom. I forgot all about it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I got Martin Popoff. I'm going to do a shameless plug here. Uh, Bowie at 75 book from Martin. Um, Beautiful book. Goes through all of Bowie's biggest moments and stuff throughout his career.
Yeah.
And here's a
Shout out to
picture.
yeah. Shout out to our friend Martin. He's killing it.
Yeah,
With
here's a picture. Here's a picture with Bowie with William S. Burroughs.
there he is. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yep.
Yep.
And yeah, so that song's just kind of like a little spoken word kind of thing, kind of setting the mood for the album. Uh, Gotta show this one too.
Yeah. That's so sweet.
Yeah,
Love that.
yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it goes right into the title track, Diamond Dogs, which I think this song starts with one of the best lines ever in rock and roll, man. You know, this ain't rock and roll, this is genocide. I love that.
This
I love
ain't
that
rock
so
and
much.
roll. This is genocide. Yeah,
Goes
yeah,
right into that riff, man, that bendy riff. Love it. And this song kind of introduces one of Bowie's other personas, Halloween Jack, which is kind of like, you know, Ziggy still, but I kind of separated a little bit for some reason in my head because
yeah, yeah.
yeah, but
And I
and
mean,
I think in my head,
Halloween Jack just makes like a cameo. It's not like the whole album.
yeah, it's not like a big thing, no.
Yeah,
But it seems like in the videos for like Rebel Rebel and stuff, I kind of always think of that as being Halloween Jack, but that's
right,
just the way my head.
right,
But I think in my opinion, there's a lot of opinions about like this whole Hunger City and Diamond Dogs thing. It's like I feel like the Diamond Dogs of this song are like the outcast of Hunger City, and they kind of plan on taking things over based on the lyrics. It sounds like.
right,
Um,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And Bowie even says I was gonna write down his quote. He says something like he kind of predicted the punk movement in a way, because that's kind of
yeah,
what he's going for with these Diamond Dogs characters, like kind of outcasts and rebels, and you know,
yeah.
that's kind of awesome.
He said they're like really skinny because they're hungry and they're like have crazy hair and yeah. He's like it's sort of like
Yeah, this is
punkish.
'74. This is a couple years, yeah, before.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, it's just love that main guitar riff like we were talking about, with its bended guitar notes. Brings an eerie feeling to the track. Great chorus. So instantly catchy. It'll never leave your head once you hear it. That's
oh
what I
yeah,
wrote down. Oh
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I love Diamond Dogs. It's just a
Uh,
great song.
oh, Diamond Dogs is fantastic. Yeah, love it.
Yep. Yep. And if you didn't think it could get any better than that, the next three songs come in. And they're pretty much one track in my head.
Yeah, oh yeah, same
Sweet
here.
Thing Candidate, Sweet Thing Reprise. Um, yeah, one of my favorite Bowie songs is this Suite of Tunes. This being the first part, Sweet Thing, starts with a lot of backwards sounding effects, and like that distorted guitar comes in, and it's kind of like a softer ballad, the first part of it, which I think is some of Bowie's finest vocals delivered. He's got like a crooning kind of Sinatra kind of thing going on. I love that, man. Um,
Totally.
and I think it's got one of his lowest notes recorded, if I seen that right. Like probably the first part when he's like really low, like
He's
he's singing really low.
he starts
Yeah.
super low. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
love the city, and
Yeah.
then it's like,
And
and
then
I'm
think about,
scared and I'm lonely.
yeah.
Yeah, it goes really high. Yeah,
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 that dichotomy between the vocals is crazy. Um, yeah, it's just got another chorus to die for. A lot of overdub Bowie vocals all over the chorus section. Mike Garson is also on this album. He's kind of more reined in on here. He doesn't go like full avant-garde piano, but I still love his touches on this song.
yeah, yep,
Yep. Yeah, and I think Sweet Thing lyrically, it's about Hunger City's darker side, which we're going back to the prostitution thing that I was talking about.
right.
Kind of being compared, kind of being compared to a drug, kind of seems like on this, like they're
Yeah,
kind of getting hooked on it, and yeah,
I love when
just great
I love
track.
when he does the boys,
Oh
boys,
god,
get it here thing.
yeah, I probably said that many times. After I've listened to the album, I probably just said that out loud for no reason.
It's impossible not to. It's like such a hook. It's like it's what, and it's just yeah, I love it. Anyway,
And that goes into Candidate, which is me and Tom were talking about this before. This was like a completely different song when he first like brought the name up, which I think it's got a couple lines that are similar, but it's on that Ryko version of this, which is it's kind of interesting. But I'm glad we got the version we did, because
yeah.
this has got like killer. This is some of my favorite Bowie like saxophone work. Like he was never. I don't know. I don't want to say he's not a great saxophone player, but he just like does what he needs to do for the songs to me. Like
Oh yeah.
it's rugged and frantic and
I
squealing and stuff.
I
It's
love
just
the sax on this record. Like I love,
oh,
oh, I just love it. Like,
well, we should mention too, Bowie did all the guitars on this album.
yes,
So, yeah,
yes,
that's pretty impressive. Besides
yeah.
two, I think some other guy wrote it down. Alan something his name is.
Alan Parker.
Yes, he did on 1984, and I think some of Rebel Rebel he says, but it
Yeah.
hasn't been. Yeah,
But
but
there's
yeah, we'll go
something
back
like
and
charming. I gotta, while we're talking about that, there's something charming about his guitar playing on this record. It's
oh
almost like
yeah,
kind of like scrappy and it's kind
yeah,
of like scratchy and scrappy. And it's like,
yeah.
man, it's just so different from the what previous record. And
Yeah,
it's,
you listen to like
you know,
Ronson and all these other guys, it's like, and then you listen to this, it's still great to me.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I I seen he said he practiced every day because he knew he had to get this right. You know, like the
Yeah.
sound.
The guitar
Yeah.
has to be good. It can't just suck. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think he accomplished that. Yeah.
yeah, I think so too. It's kind of I think the guitar player is sort of impressive actually on this record. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think, and he doesn't really hide behind a lot of effects either. You know, that's something to do with it too. There's
No.
like distortion and certain things, but yeah, it's killer.
I mean, it's not Mick
But
Ronson, but it has this charm to it that on this record. Yeah. So
yeah,
anyway.
you could never see Bowie doing the solo to Moon Age Daydream or anything, but
Right.
you know,
Right.
he
Yeah.
can hold his own as a guitar player. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, I'll get into. I wrote some of the lyrics. I think. Well, the track reuses the chorus, "The Sweet Thing" and "Candidate," really ties the three songs in the suite together. Um, and he like goes on this like rapping kind of thing in this song.
Yeah.
It's like
Mhm.
very fast, and he's talking about like the city and everything that's going on there and the people. And um, I wrote down Bowie stated he used William S. Burroughs' cut up method of writing for this
Mm.
trilogy of songs, which I think he did before this too. But like the basic idea is you write a paragraph describing different objects and then cut the sentences up, and then you just like
Yes.
take the best parts, and which kind of makes sense. It kind of sounds like that kind of idea. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love that last line about watching a band and then jumping in the river holding hands. It's
Yes. Yes. I
just
love that
great.
too. That one
Yep.
jumped out at me when I was doing the listening for this week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, awesome. Then we'll go right back into Sweet Thing in a reprise. Kind of cuts right into Sweet Thing's slower paced tempo with that saxophone returning. Great familiar chorus by now. And about halfway through, it just gets like this piano theme that builds in dynamic, like a very heavy blues section for the last like minute of the track.
Mm.
It's got like some nice phased out guitar, and it just gets really frantic until it, fades right into Rebel Rebel. I mean, well, it doesn't fade; it just cuts.
Just cuts in,
It
it
sounds like
cuts right in. Yeah.
yeah, it sounds like all the guitars are like squealing at each other, and it's
Oh
just
wait, yeah, it's
crazy.
like wait, wait, yeah, totally, totally.
And it goes right into that classic riff. I mean, it's
Yep.
oh, you know, a Rebel Rebel.
Right.
It just a all-time Bowie classic. Released as the first single from the album, reached number 5 in the UK and 64 on the US Billboard Top 100 charts. It's also Bowie's last song, kind of in the glam rock stylings, I'd say, of previous albums. Uh, can you ask for a better send off for that kind of? I
Yeah.
mean, it's just
Yeah.
an awesome song, man.
Awesome track.
Love that main riff, using D, E, and A chords. And I wrote down Alan Parker was brought into the sessions to enhance the riff a little. I guess he added the uh, there, 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 no. I think he added the turnaround part.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, kind of makes it more circular. And
Right.
the thing about this song, it's what like 4.5 minutes, and they play that riff how many times? And I
Yeah.
never get sick of it. Every
No.
time I listen to it, it's the
I,
you know,
I'm with you. It's because it's sort of like addicting. It's like an addicting riff. It kind of speaking of the Stones. I mean, this one sounds like a Keith Richards riff. You know,
yes,
it almost sounds kind of Stonesy to me when I hear that track.
yep,
You
yeah. I
know.
said it's a great rock anthem that stood the test of time. As much of Bowie's '70s music has, I
Yep.
believe. So
Yep.
yeah. So that doesn't end side one, does it?
There's side one. Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
Yep.
man. Again, what an awesome side one.
5 star first side. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get into Rock and Roll with Me, which is the first song on side two. Um, Bowie's first song on the album to be co-written with another musician, Jeff McCormick, did the piano. I think played the chord progression for him. And I think this is probably the first real hint at his uh, Young Americans kind of style, kind of soulful direction he would go in.
Yeah. Yep.
Um,
Yep.
yeah, it's a slower ballad song with lyrics that act as a thank you to his fans, which I wrote down. I never thought about this until I was listening to this week. It's kind of like "We Are the Champions" by Queen, but it's a couple years before that. You know,
Right.
'Cause that's
Right.
kind of like a big like, oh, we love our fans and you're the reason we're here, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Absolutely.
I got that parallel there with that. But
That's cool. I never thought of that. That's a great. I like that. Very cool.
yeah, love Bowie's vocal on the track. Nice lead guitar from him on this one, I think. And I said it's a nice start to side two that almost makes you do a double take after side one just put you through because
Right. Yeah.
you're not thinking about
It's
this.
kind of like a reprieve after side one.
Yeah, Yeah, because this was one of the songs he wanted to do for the musical, I believe. I think this one and Rebel Rebel were so it's
Yes.
kind of like a different thing from Hunger City, and
Right.
that's cool.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. And man, you mentioned his vocal on that. He's a great vocal on that on Rock and Roll
No,
with Me. And I mean,
love it.
to me, it's like is Diamond Dogs one of his best vocal performances? Like the whole album, like he's just killing
Yeah,
it vocally,
yeah,
killing it.
and to think of everything else he's doing, it's crazy. It turned
Yeah.
out as good as it did. Really, I mean,
I mean, his singing is just out of this world on this album, in my opinion. Just
it's
awesome.
amazing, man. I
Yeah.
love it. Yep. So yeah, we'll get into the last little section of the album, which is I like to call it the 1984 suite. The last four tracks,
Yeah.
all kind of go together. We're the Dead. The last, well, I just said that. We're the Dead is a slower paced ballad with lyrics from the perspective of some of the characters from the novel, I guess. Um, I'm gonna be honest here. I've never read 1984. I've
Okay.
always heard about it,
Right.
but yeah.
Right.
So I'm going off by what I've seen, and
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but kind of deals with the state of their world in this song. And I think it draws parallels to Hunger City from the first side. So you could say this song kind of would fit in with Sweet Thing, and
It would fit in
it's
with
kind
the
of
Hunger City theme. Yeah. Yeah. I
yeah,
would. I think. Yeah. Yep.
yep. I guess the title is drawn directly from the novel. I think it said they say this three times. We are the dead.
Right.
Um, it's also, in my opinion, some of Bowie at his most darkest lyric wise.
Yes.
Strange chord passages in the song too.
And
Just
kind
add
of
to that.
dark musically too, a little bit.
Yes,
You
yes.
know.
Creepy atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I love that like a minute and a half in, Bowie goes off and like the backing vocals start singing the "We Are the Dead" part. And it's
Yes.
just really creepy, man.
It's
I'm sure he
it's
did the cut up method there too, because it sounds like it's a bunch of stuff all jumbled together. And
yes.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and last thing about this, they never played this track live. I thought that was I kind of see why, because I mean, this isn't really like an upbeat concert song,
No,
but
no,
you
it's not.
know, on David Live, I mean, they played 1984 and Big Brother, so just kind
Yeah.
of you think they just play them all,
You
but
could, yeah,
yeah,
I mean, you could, I'm sure he could pull it off.
yeah,
Um, it's like you
one of the
said,
longer songs on the album too.
it is pretty long. Yeah, it's almost 5 minutes. Um,
Yep.
so but yeah, I do love We Are the Dead though. There's something cool about it's like creepy cool. Like I don't know how to describe it. When I listen to it, I get really into it. I'm like, oh yeah, like because it's sort of a slow build. It's sort of slow builds.
Yes.
It's
Yep.
cool.
Def- Definitely a headphone song too. I mean, that's
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
agreed. Yeah,
Um, but yeah, we'll get into 1984, which is was gonna be the big song for Bowie's concept album about the novel. Said the song is drenched in funk, funk, uh, funk and soul feeling. Love the string arrangement. Tony Visconti does the string arrangement, like we were talking about.
Yeah,
This is the song he kind of contributed to, as long as co-producing with Bowie. Kind of just builds the track up in the up-tempo verse sections, lays low in the dramatic chorus sections. Got some great rhythm guitar work from Bowie. Putting that wah-wah pedal to use is what I wrote down.
yeah.
I
Oh yeah.
love that, man. But yeah, I think this is another song that points the way toward his, future career. Well, what he's going to do the rest of for young Americans at
At
least,
least the
because even
next
stays in
record.
the
Yeah, at
states,
least
and
the next album.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, yeah,
Definitely. That's the 84, 1984 is a great track. And you're right. It's that to me is the big precursor to the next album, like where and I think what happened was when they played these things songs live, he was really getting into the funk, like, oh, this is cool. Like, let's do more of this.
awesome,
So,
yeah. Got a great chorus too. I love that chorus.
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get into Big Brother, which is kind of I think it was supposed to be the finale of the concept album that he made. Kind of works perfectly here as the album ender for Diamond Dogs as well, I think.
Hmm.
Love the synths on this track. Kind of much like We're the Dead, kind of add to the eerie nature of the song. I think it's a Mellotron, the one that's doing the vocals. It sounds like it's like modulated vocals in the song, and
Yes.
just
Yes.
so creepy, man. I love it.
Yeah.
It's like
There's like a
just
weird effect on the vocal. Yeah.
yes, yep. I said the song alludes to Big Brother's brainwashing of the main character in the book. You know, I love the change in tempo and feel halfway through the track. It's got like this acoustic little, like almost country kind of part right in the middle out of nowhere.
Right.
It's like, where'd this come
And
from?
yeah, it's kind of bizarre. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And then it goes right back into the chorus. This is probably one of my favorite choruses on the album. I love it. And we were talking about Bowie's vocals. I
Oh,
mean,
there's another
oh,
amazing, another awesome vocal. Like
yep.
just like that whole "someone to fade, someone to follow." It's like yes, like it's just so killer.
We
Yeah.
want you, big brother.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome stuff, man. But yeah,
Yeah.
and it goes right into the final track, which is Chant of the Ever Circling Skeletal Family, which it's kind of the ending of Big Brother, pretty much. And it switches meter between 5/4 and 6/4, and it features a guitar riff being played endlessly. Um, and I think Tony talks about this a little bit from what I read. Kind of like Bowie wanted it to get like more distorted and distorted as the track went, and it
Mm.
kind of does. It sounds like it's starting to like eat itself like the tape, kind of like uh I Want You, She's So Heavy, the
Yes.
Beatles song,
Yep.
because
Yep.
it like kind of just like eats itself
It just gets
alive.
more and more intense. As yeah.
Yeah, yep, yep.
Yep.
Kind of the same thing here. And they kind of copy a little bit of a day in the life here too, with the record getting stuck on the word brother, but
Yep.
they couldn't. He couldn't do all of it. I think something happened with the tape, so it just sounds like he's saying "bruh, bruh, bruh,"
Yeah.
which kind of, which I seen. I didn't even think about this until I seen somebody say this online. It kind of sounds like it switches from brother into run, which
Oh
would kind of
wow.
make would kind of make sense into the state, of Big Brother and people watching you and
Right.
stay away from them. I never thought about it like that, but I mean, it could just be a happy coincidence, you never know. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah, they used to freak me out when I was little because I had my sister had this record. I have older sisters and they're much older, and she
yeah.
had this album. And first of all, I remember just being intrigued by the artwork. Of course, you're like, oh my God, who is
Oh yeah, you gotta
like
listen to it just
like
after
what is
seeing that.
this? What is this? And then you put it on. I remember being kind of freaked out by Chan of the ever circling skeletal family, like that whole like shake it up, and then all of a sudden it goes, when it gets stuck on the bra, it's like it's just kind of like what's happening? Like
Oh, yeah.
it just kind of sounds really freaky.
And on the record, right? It's you have to get up and move your needle, right? Because it just
Yeah,
keeps doing it. I
just
think,
keeps
yeah.
going. Yeah, you have to
Because
let, yeah,
I only have the CD, it just fades out. But that'd be even creepier if it just
it just keeps going. Yeah, just
if you fall
uh,
asleep to that album at night and it just keeps doing
yeah,
that.
it would wake you up. I think it would wake me up for sure. Um, but yeah, no,
Oh man.
but it's interesting. I mean, there's no doubt that it's an interesting ending, and I think it's kind of cool. Like again, there's something really, really cool about this album that's like hard to put your finger on. Like it's
Yeah.
this it's sort of weird. It's like the whole album feels like it's like a little bit like I think Bowie was like you hit on this earlier that Bowie was I think he was looking for a new place to go because basically he had just
Oh yeah.
gotten out of the whole glam phase and his band was basically gone. So he's like, all right, I gotta reinter I gotta I don't know, I gotta this first major reinvention, like I gotta reinvent myself and do something
Yeah.
different from what I
Yeah.
was doing, but I'm not sure what that is. That's why he had all these different ideas about what he was gonna do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And really after this, I mean, up until like the Berlin albums, all of them sound different. Which you
Right.
could say, I mean, I always look kind of like Aladdin Sane and Ziggy are kind of a pair to me and
Right.
kind of hunky dory's by itself a little bit. But like this one's kind of another one that just, I mean, there's nothing that sounds like this to me in the catalog after this.
No, no,
Like,
nothing in the catalog sounds like this album. Like there's something
yeah.
about this record. He's got a lot of phase going on the vocals and on the instruments. And like we were talking about this sort of, he never played this much guitar ever again, I don't think, on an album.
No, I
Um,
don't think so.
you know what I mean? And it's just, I don't know. There's just, but the songs are so, like you said, there's three different themes going on. It seems to thrown together, but it works. It's like, how does this
Yep.
album work? It's like all this stuff kind of thrown together in a, like you said,
Yeah.
in a
Yep.
Williams Burroughs kind of way. And but it's like it. Sometimes when I listen to this album, I go, man, I wish he would just stayed with the Hunger City theme and just been like a really dark like hunger. I mean, but I love the 84 songs too. I don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, and like we talked
you
about,
know,
you could kind of like merge them together a little bit in a way.
you
Um,
probably
so yeah,
could. You probably
yeah,
could. You could be like Big Brother is watching over Hunger City. I don't know, but anyway, it's. I love the whole like Hunger City theme of like Future Legend is just such a great way to start the album, and then it goes into Diamond Dogs, and you're in your mind, you see it, like you see the guy running, the elevator's broken, so he's going down the rope to the
yep.
street.
Just like how we were talking about with Thin Lizzy, when you hear the lyrics and it's in your head. This
Yeah.
whole album's like that to me. This could be a
Yes.
movie to me.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah,
I feel the
yeah,
same way. This album just it's in my head. And then when it goes into Sweet Thing and Candidate, you're like, "Oh my God, like it's taking it even higher." It's I don't know. I just love this album. I think it's great. It's something very super unique about it that I can't quite like say in words. I don't know how to say it, but
yeah. No,
you know,
I get you. Yeah.
yeah. It's great. It's just awesome.
It's hard to describe, man. It's just Bowie's mind, I guess. I mean,
Yeah. 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 It shouldn't work, but it does. So
yes.
so we got to we're getting on here, so we probably got to take it to the next level, which is between these two albums. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is like two massive awesome records. Between these two, it like this is just this week. I mean, after this week of listening to this week, which one was standing out to you more, would you say?
Well, for me, this is one of my favorite Bowie albums ever. So I think it'll probably always win. Diamond Dogs
Yeah.
has to be,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I love this to death.
Right. 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 That's
You
no
know what I
slight
mean?
on Aladdin Sane.
Yeah. But I think what we were talking about is just like the artistic merit of this guy to make something like this after losing a band like this.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
that's just amazing to me.
Yeah.
And it works, like you're just saying, like it works. I mean, it shouldn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I gotta. It's funny. After this week, I gotta do the same. I'm in the same. And it's again, it's by a hair. But I'm gonna pick
Oh
Diamond
yeah.
Dogs. I'm going Diamond Dogs as well. Because there is something just like you just said it. The kahunas to do this, to make this album at the time, is just like
Yep.
he wasn't scared. He was a big star at this point, and this is almost like taking a risk doing this record. It's kind of like,
Oh yeah.
I mean, but he didn't care. He went for it. He was all about the art. And this album is very artistic. And it's just like, who does this besides Bowie? Who does it? Nobody.
Yep.
Um, this album is amazing. I mean, don't get me wrong. Aladdin Sane is an excellent album and a
Yep.
great rock record. And I love the band on this. I love everything about, I mean, it's a great album. It's just like you said, it kind of feels like I mean, if I have to give it any criticism, it feels a little bit like you said, like the cousin of Ziggy. It's almost
Oh
like
yeah.
Ziggy's cousin. Um, and the Let's Spend the Night Together is like, it's okay. It kind of feels a little out of place on this for me. Um,
Yeah. I don't think there's anything out of place on here.
but there's nothing out of place on Diamond Dogs. There's
Yeah.
nothing.
Feels like everything should be there where it is, and yeah.
Yeah, and
Yep.
like against all odds, against all everything I would think would be normal and right, it works. It's so bizarre.
Yep.
Um, yeah, so I maybe that's what it is. It's that elusive quality that gives it that like the edge, you know.
Yep.
So yeah. Anyway, so
Awesome.
two
Yeah.
votes for Diamond Dogs. Who knew? Um, so what do you guys think? What's your take? We want to know. Let us know down. I
Yep.
read all the comments and respond to all the comments. We want to know what you think. Maybe you're like, oh, you guys nuts. Aladdin Sane is like incredible. I can't believe you like because I've seen people put Aladdin Sane at number one
Yeah.
on rankings. So
Can't argue there though. I
I
mean,
can't argue with that. Yeah, I cannot argue with that. So, and again, to me, I'm sure I'm speaking for you too, but I swear to God that it was like that. I mean, it's like one of those where
oh yeah.
the
Yeah.
difference is like that.
Yeah.
So,
You can't even see it with the human eye.
yeah. There's been, believe me, I'm sure that the people that watch this channel will be like, Tom, you're always say that, but it's true. There's a lot of battles. A lot of the battles are very just like they're so close. It's crazy.
Yep.
Um, I was liken it to the Olympics where the swimmer you can't tell who won. It's like all the hands go boom, 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 boom. It's like who won that? You can't tell. Um, But anyway, last thing I wanted to say before we wrap it up, and that is I was reading this too. I don't know if you have this Woody's book.
I bet that's good. No, I do not have that.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. He kind of talks about his time in the band, and I was perusing it really quickly, and it's amazing how quickly he gets fired. Like it's just like out of nowhere. Like he just gets a call, and they're like, "You're done, goodbye." He's like, "What?" Um,
Yeah, and he's been there for a while. I mean, what he plays on Hunky Dory, right? Is that the
he
first
played
one,
on
or
Hunky Dory, yeah.
is it Man Who Sold the World? I can't
Or
remember.
no, yeah, no, he played on Man Who Sold the World as well.
So he's there for a while. I mean, 3 years,
Yeah,
2 years. Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, yeah, but anyway, this is a cool book. Pick it up if you. I mean, it's kind of gives you an insight as to like the early Bowie years, and he does talk
Yep.
about Aladdin Sane in this book. Um,
You tell me to pick that up. I'm telling you to pick this up.
I'm definitely picking that up. Yes, Martin, great job. From what I can see, it looks an amazing job. Work. I'm gonna have to order that. So shout out to Martin Popoff on that one. But anyway, thanks everybody. If you're with us this long, we really appreciate you. You must be a big
Yep.
Bowie fan. So thanks again for hanging out with us. We talked about these classic records. Maybe we'll do more Bowie if you guys like this one. And give it a yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Young David Bowie. Uh,
Young Bowie.
so yeah, so give it a like, give it and please subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that button because it really helps the channel. It makes me want to do more content like this. If you like what you
Yep.
see, subscribing really helps. So I always have to say that. So thanks again, everybody, and we will see you next time. Like Logan, thanks again. Thank you very much. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me on, Tom. It's always
You,
fun, man.
you killed it, man. Killed it as usual. So thanks again, everybody, and we'll see you next time on Curless Mania. Later.